he's a monster. He's literally a monster.
The billionaire rapper.
I'm a savage! Oh!
Now facing some serious music.
This man is gonna go down.
Can you believe what the FBI just uncovered at Diddy's mansion? It's like something straight out of a Hollywood movie. We're talking about secret tapes, hidden cameras, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Yes, 1,000. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Along with drugs, illegal weapons, and some seriously dark allegations, it seems Diddy's world is unraveling faster than anyone could have imagined. So, what exactly did the FBI find that led to the downfall of one of hip-hop's biggest moguls?
They just, so you have, if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but rock with me, but just check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Yeah.
Heat. You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable.
If there was one thing Diddy was known for throughout his career, it was living large. From the moment he burst onto the music scene, he made it clear that he was here to stay and here to live fabulously. He was not just a producer and rapper, Diddy was a brand, a lifestyle. His parties were legendary, glittering events filled with celebrities, musicians, and models, all basking in the limelight of his success. If you were anyone in Hollywood, you wanted to be at a Diddy party. Diddy's rise to fame was nothing short of meteoric. He went from being a young entrepreneur in the music business to becoming one of the most influential figures in hip-hop history. His label, Bad Boy Records, helped launch the careers of superstars like the Notorious B.I.G., Mace, and Lil' Kim. His business ventures expanded into fashion with his Sean John clothing line and even vodka with Ciroc. It felt like everything he touched turned to gold. But beyond the awards, the chart-topping hits, and the accolades, there was another side to Diddy's lifestyle, a darker, secretive world that most people outside of Hollywood only heard about in hushed rumors. You see, Diddy wasn't just known for his chart-topping hits and business moves, he was also infamous for his wild parties. And these weren't just your run-of-the-mill, celebrity-filled soirees. These were the kinds of gatherings that took place behind closed doors, away from the prying eyes of the public, where anything could happen. Whispers started to circulate. People talked about multi-day freak-offs, parties where the lines between reality and fantasy blurred, where the usual rules of society were left at the door. Diddy's power and influence helped keep these rumors from hitting the mainstream media. People talked about the drugs, the excess, the strange happenings, but no one dared to say too much. After all, this was Diddy. He had connections, wealth, and an iron grip on the entertainment industry. He wasn't someone you wanted to cross. And so, for years, these whispers floated around Hollywood, never quite making it into the spotlight, but always there, bubbling just beneath the surface. Guests would leave Diddy's parties talking about what they'd seen, but nothing could ever be confirmed. After all, in the world of celebrities, what happens behind closed doors tends to stay there, right? But, oh boy, if you thought those whispers were something, just wait until you hear what really went down. Trust me, these weren't your typical celebrity bashes. These parties had a life of their own, and from what people are saying now, they were beyond anything you could imagine. It's like something out of a movie, rooms filled with people partying for days, guests so out of it that they didn't even know what was happening around them.
Says a lawyer is now investigating what she calls the use of excessive force. This morning, a new inside look at the raid last month on hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs, who's now the subject of a federal human trafficking investigation. His ex-girlfriend, Misa Hilton, with whom he shares a son, posting this video, edited and sped up, showing armored vehicles in the driveway of his Los Angeles estate and heavily armed agents from Homeland Security investigations moving in, guns drawn. Two of Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian Combs, seen here detained and later released. It's protocol during searches, but Hilton posting the overzealous and overtly militarized force used against my sons Justin and Christian is deplorable. If these were the sons of a non-black celebrity, they would not have been handled with the same aggression.
When law enforcement, especially federal law enforcement, goes in to execute a search warrant, they've done quite a bit of intelligence gathering prior to doing the entry. It may seem excessive, but it may have been exactly what is prescribed in their rules and procedures.
At the time, no one knew for sure just how wild things were getting behind the scenes, but all of that was about to change. The whispers weren't just gossip anymore. Secrets were hiding in plain sight, and it wouldn't be long before the FBI showed up to blow it all wide open. In March 2024, everything changed for Diddy. After years of whispers, allegations, and rumors, the FBI finally made its move. Agents raided his homes in Miami and Los Angeles, and what they uncovered was enough to make even the wildest rumors seem tame. This was the moment when the whispers were no longer just talk. Now there were court documents, evidence, and jaw-dropping discoveries that took the public by storm. The FBI didn't just knock politely on Diddy's door, they came in full force. And what they found shocked everyone. Imagine opening the door to one of Diddy's mansions, expecting maybe some lavish furniture and expensive art, but instead stumbling upon 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Yep, you read that right. 1,000. That's enough to make anyone's eyebrows shoot up. And that was just the beginning. There were also hidden tapes. Rumors had always suggested that Diddy was into some serious blackmail, but no one could have predicted this. Allegedly, Diddy had hidden cameras throughout his mansions, recording what went down at these infamous freak-offs. These tapes were reportedly used to blackmail people, fellow celebrities, industry figures, and high-profile guests who had indulged a little too much in Diddy's lavish lifestyle. Talk about a power move, right? It was as if Diddy had created his own little empire, and at the center of it all were these recordings, allegedly used to keep everyone quiet and maintain his control.
During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large-capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs. Electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well, we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s.
But wait, it gets worse. Alongside the baby oil and the tapes, the FBI also found illegal firearms, 3 AR-15s to be exact. These weren't just any guns either. The serial numbers had been scratched off, making them illegal and impossible to trace. On top of that, agents discovered a stash of drugs. Again, confirming the whispers that these parties weren't just about dancing and music. This was a full-blown operation. To make it even more surreal, the agents also found medical supplies, including IV drips that were reportedly used to keep guests going for days. People were partying so hard that they needed to be hooked up to IVs just to recover and keep going. This wasn't just a party anymore, it was a well-oiled machine, a hedonistic nightmare fueled by excess. The moment the raid happened, those whispers turned into screams. The public was floored by what they were hearing. 1,000 bottles of baby oil, hidden tapes, guns, drugs. The lavish lifestyle Diddy had so carefully curated was crumbling, and the world was watching in shock.
Allege that Combs used his business empire and resources and associates to lead a criminal enterprise that was engaged in illegal activity like arson, bribery, kidnapping, even the assault and sex trafficking of women, and that this was going on for years. And more specifically, they allege that he brought in male sex workers for these events called freak-offs, these elaborate sexual performances that he forced threatened or coerced people to be a part of, even drugging people, filming these sessions. That's what the allegations are. And it's a complicated case.
As if Diddy's wild parties weren't enough, things took a much darker turn when it came to the secret tapes. These weren't just the kind of home videos people might take at a regular get-together. No, according to FBI allegations, Diddy had hidden cameras set up throughout his homes, recording every moment of these freak-off parties. And trust me, these weren't your average Saturday night hangouts. Guests were filmed in their most vulnerable and compromised states, often too far gone from drugs or exhaustion to even realize what was happening. The tapes weren't just recordings, they were weapons. Can you imagine? You're a guest at one of these massive parties, thinking it's all fun and games, and meanwhile, hidden cameras are catching every move you make. One minute, you're having the time of your life, and the next, you're in way too deep, not even knowing that your wild night has been documented for future use. It's one thing to throw a crazy party, but it's a whole different level when you're hosting these wild events and intimidating people with AR-15s. The FBI believes Diddy used these weapons not just for protection, but as a form of intimidation to keep people quiet. Imagine being at one of these freak-offs, feeling the weight of the atmosphere shift when someone notices the illegal guns. It sends a clear signal. This isn't just a party. There's more at stake here, and if you cross the line, you'll regret it. And it worked. People stayed quiet for years, likely out of fear of not only the tapes, but also the threats that came with them. Diddy's alleged empire wasn't just built on his talent or his business acumen, but on fear and control. The AR-15s were a part of that, and they helped solidify his hold over anyone who dared step too close to the truth. 3 AR-15s with the serial numbers removed? That's not just about protection, that's about sending a message. And the message was, stay quiet or else.
Key piece of physical evidence that could maybe be quite important to prove that Combs directed, that he participated in these elaborate coerced sexual performances known as freak-offs, where he would allegedly force women to have sex with male sex workers, that he allegedly secretly recorded these sessions. Again, having all this baby oil was probably a key piece of evidence. And remember, the freak-offs are a key component of the sex trafficking and racketeering case. And
when the FBI raided Diddy's home, it wasn't just about finding weapons and baby oil. The real bombshell came in the form of the tapes. These tapes, found stashed away in secret locations, didn't just show the wild parties happening under Diddy's roof. They were evidence of something much darker. Some of these tapes are reportedly so explicit that authorities are treating them as evidence of human trafficking and coercion. That's right, the FBI believes that what was captured on those tapes goes beyond just drug-fueled parties. They're talking about people being manipulated, coerced, and even trafficked. This is where the scandal takes a dramatic and horrifying turn. If the tapes show what the FBI claims they do, Diddy wasn't just throwing parties for fun. He was allegedly using these gatherings to exploit people. Guests, especially women, were reportedly drugged and coerced into acts they may not have consented to. And all of it was caught on camera, stored away for future use. What started as rumors of wild, out-of-control parties now appears to be a full-blown criminal enterprise, with Diddy at the helm.
Of the sex trafficking and racketeering case. And if you remember, when it came to this specific piece of evidence, Combs' lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, did kind of give an explanation for this when he spoke to TMZ after the indictment. Reminder, this is before the gag order was imposed. And he said, quote, he has a big house, he buys in bulk. I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. Have you sat in the parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with? So he attempted to kind of shrug it off, but the thing about that is, Costco apparently doesn't actually sell bulk packages of baby oil. Who knew, right? As a matter of fact, they reportedly don't even sell baby oil. At least that's what a Costco spokesperson confirmed to TMZ. And look, if you're curious, you can go ahead, you can search baby oil on Costco's website. They got diapers, they got wipes, they got milk, apparently no baby oil. So that explanation didn't do a whole lot to curb speculation about all this. And now we have seen a series of new lawsuits that were just filed, including yesterday.
When news of the FBI raid on Diddy's homes broke, social media exploded in a way only the internet can. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok lit up with reactions, memes, and of course, shock. The 1,000 bottles of baby oil quickly became the center of a bizarre online frenzy. People couldn't believe it. There were countless jokes about the sheer amount of lubricant, as users wondered how someone could even find a use for that much. And that was just the beginning. TikTok creators wasted no time jumping on the meme bandwagon, making skits, sarcastic reenactments, and commentary about the ridiculousness of the situation. The whole thing became a massive joke to many, turning Diddy's downfall into internet comedy gold. But as the laughter died down, a more sobering conversation began to emerge. While it was easy to poke fun at the baby oil, the tapes and weapons uncovered during the raid told a much darker story. I mean, people are out here turning this into a meme, but let's not forget, there are some really dark accusations buried under all this baby oil. The most chilling aspect of the case came into focus when authorities began speaking publicly about the trafficking allegations.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity.
The tapes, which were initially thought to be for blackmail, now serve as evidence of possible trafficking. Some women allegedly tried to leave these parties, but were either too intoxicated or too afraid to do so. In some cases, Diddy allegedly used his power and influence to force them to stay, keeping them locked into a nightmare they couldn't wake up from. This wasn't just about people making bad decisions at a party. It was about coercion, control, and exploitation. And if these charges stick, Diddy could be facing serious jail time. We're talking decades behind bars. The trafficking charges are the most damaging part of the case, and if they're proven in court, it's hard to see how Diddy could come out of this with anything less than a ruined career and shattered legacy. This is the kind of case that doesn't just fade away, it leaves a permanent scar.
Kinsey, what's Hollywood doing? I can't think that everyone is stepping back and just watching P. Diddy Combs and all of this happening.
Well, according to Tony Busby, they are quietly settling with victims to avoid public naming and shaming. But, if you talk to experts about this, what they're doing is they're delaying the inevitable, that maybe you might get past the civil case, but if you have done something that they could go after you criminally for, you're just delaying the inevitable. Look back at your watch because time is ticking. There are reports that Diddy has a list of over 200 celebrities that could be damaged or destroyed by what he could reveal. Could he take some of these people down with him? And it's everyone, just like you said, politicians, musicians, models, movie stars. There are a lot of nervous people, and they are especially nervous at the idea of Diddy sitting on a witness stand breaking down some of the things that occurred at the alleged freak-offs.
Big homie, same question. You are around celebrities. You have been up close and personal with a lot of them. Are there any, not necessarily who are worried about their own charges, but knowing that they were at these parties, what are they saying in your circles?
So, what's next for Diddy? That's the question everyone's asking. His legal team is undoubtedly working overtime right now, but the evidence against him is stacking up. The tapes, the weapons, the drugs, the trafficking allegations, it's all out there, and it's going to be nearly impossible to dismiss. Diddy might be one of the most powerful figures in music, but even he might not have the resources or connections to escape this. The question is, what does this mean for his legacy? If Diddy goes down, it won't just be him facing the consequences. His entire empire is at risk. The artists under his label, his business ventures, his influence in the industry, everything he's built over the years could crumble. It's hard to imagine how someone so beloved, so iconic could end up at the center of such a massive scandal. But here we are. His reputation is hanging by a thread, and with each new detail that emerges, that thread looks weaker and weaker. Hollywood has always had its fair share of secrets. We've heard whispers about wild parties, hidden scandals, and bad behavior for years, but this could change everything. If Diddy's empire falls, it might open the door to even more revelations about the dark side of celebrity life. So what happens next? Well, the legal battles are just beginning, and Diddy's team will do everything in their power to defend him. But the court of public opinion is already turning against him. And if those tapes and trafficking allegations hold up in court, there's little doubt that Diddy's legacy will be irreversibly damaged. The music mogul who once seemed untouchable now finds himself on the edge of a downfall that could reverberate far beyond his own life. The entertainment industry might never be the same again. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.